most important thing at the end of the day is the football. And, you know, we've tried to concentrate on the football more than anything else.
All the things that was going, like you say, wrong for Arsenal, was going wrong off the pitch. And I think that when you're having, traumas like that, the only place to put it right is on the pitch.
The season started with a sense of optimism at Highbury. George Graham and the team were in 4 competitions, including the defence of their Cup Winners' Cup title. The out-of-season spending didn't materialise, bar the addition of 2 reserve goalkeepers and Stefan Schwartz, who joined the Gunners from Portuguese side Benfica. Stefan's season got off on the right foot in the Makita Cup, the woodwork denying him a goal. The tournament was settled by familiar footwork.
A chance to score against Napoli. He's done that. 1-0 Arsenal lead. Pre-season it may be, but there's nothing like getting your hands on a trophy, and Arsenal have done that.
And so the Premiership battle commenced, with a home fixture against Manchester City. The first goal of the new season was an Arsenal goal, the first of 3.
Dixon spotted Campbell, who's unmarked. He lets it run for Merson. Campbell! Great way to start the new season. It's only 2 minutes old and Arsenal have a goal, and Kevin Campbell is the scorer. Hung up by Merson. Coton goes for it. Doesn't get there. Smith doesn't scores. 2-0. Alan Smith. Touch on by Campbell to right. Campbell goes again from right's pass. And he's held off Bonk. Right. 3-0.
Opening day glory, however, soon gave way to the harsh reality of a fight for points. In a midweek fixture against Leeds, McAllister, ensuring the home side, took all 3 of them. There were to be no points at Anfield.
Quickly forward by Nicol. Keown comes across and then clattered rather unnecessarily into Rob Jones there. And Liverpool lead. There's a real zest about Liverpool now, boosted by the goal. This is McManaman.
The eventual champions then came to Highbury. A no-score draw putting Arsenal 13th in the league. Carrow Road, the next stop.
Schwartz. Campbell. Schwartz. Clips it across. Oh! Well, it would have been an own goal by Polston, but it's still 0-0 thanks to Gunn. Newcastle, a 100% record to defend. Well, it's not defence that's in their mind at the moment. They're really pressing on. Breaks for Beardsley, deflected, goal! I think the touch was off Martin Keown. Beardsley lining up at the wall. Ball strikes it, spins past Peacock. Adams, yes, second time! Rob Lee, the Londoner. Fox. Albert's gone down, and a penalty for Newcastle United. Beardsley already with 1 goal to his name here. Restores Newcastle's lead. 2-1. Beardsley. It's a brilliant run from Peter Beardsley. Can Fox finish it off? Newcastle have another goal. It cannoned down off the crossbar. Fox will claim it. Schwartz. Dixon in quickly. Peacock. Right. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 3.
The first away win of the Premiership came against West Ham at Upton Park.
Smith, Adams has got another goal. Headed down by Wright to Merson. Wright setting off into the centre. And here he is!
The first leg of the European Cup Winners' Cup drew Cypriot side Ammonia Nicosia from a list of hopefuls. The heat and the humidity hit you as you stepped off the plane. This was to be no holiday.
A lot of people think, oh, they're playing a little team from Cyprus, a lovely little holiday island in the Mediterranean. People think it's going to be an easy game, but it's not.
Spanish side Atletico Bilbao had gone down in European competition the night before to a Cypriot team. Arsenal were determined to stay ahead. The ground hardly a coliseum, Nicosia were out for Arsenal blood. A terrible playing service and a partisan crowd, all in Ammonia's favour. The Gunners saw things differently.
Merson made up some ground, and he's given Arsenal the lead. Oh, they've misjudged it. Wright could be in here. Ian Wright tucks it away. Schwartz, just a little too casual. Malakos, really going for Arsenal here. Oh, it's a super goal for the Cypriots from Malakos. Arsenal springing forward quickly again. Wright looking up to see what was on. Merson was on. The 2-goal lead is restored.
I think it'll be another difficult game at Highbury, and it's a matter of how we approach it. They're not a bad little side, and they can pass the ball around. They've got 1 or 2 very good players. So I was making sure that we weren't going to be another one of these statistics which have struggled over the last few days around Europe.
The healthy 3-1 lead was soon to be built upon.
Oh, they tried to play offside here and failed miserably. It must be a goal. It's Wright's for the taking. Look at the space that Merson's got. Wright going to the left. It ran a little kindly for Paul Merson then. He's kept it in. Oh, it's a very teasing cross. It drops here for Schwartz. The ball nestles nicely in the corner for Arsenal and for Stefan Schwartz. Fowler, so many options for Arsenal. Dixon. Fowler. Right, diving in, oh, fantastic goal!
More Cup action now with the Gunners' entry to the Coca-Cola Cup. The first leg, an exhibition in goal scoring against Hartlepool at the Victoria Ground.
Right there before Magukin. Arsenal get their free kick. And Paul Merson lining it up. Already had one chance to score himself. Adams! Well, the captain came in. Davis. A lot of Arsenal supporters pleased to see him back. Right. Horn can only push it out. It's a tap in for Smith, and it's 2-0. Outside Burgess. Right. Tucked away with great aplomb. Fowler. More Arsenal pressure. Fine ball by Wright. McGoldrick. Martha. Selly. Oh, and Gilchrist lost his bearings totally. Here's Wright. That's 5! Insurance policy heavily taken out up at Hartlepool. They've got a corner. And Bold positioned as usual to glance it on. And Campbell run right underneath the bar. Parlour. Still. Parried by Horn. Davis to take the corner. What are they going to come up with this time? Kept in by Davis. That's Bold. And it is a goal from Dickoff.
Back to the Premiership now. Crystal Palace the next visitors to Highbury. Ian Wright on the brink of a century of Gunners' goals.
Armstrong in behind Linnigan. Off the post. Solako's there. Palace have taken the lead. Well, Alan Smith, the Crystal Palace manager, will be delighted with the way his side have settled here. And Armstrong. And Solako's in again! Right, going in! There it is! 100 goals for Arsenal. A fantastic achievement for Ian Wright. Fitting, I suppose, that it's happened here against the club that sold him to Highbury.
It was nice, all the surroundings and the leading up to the 100 goals. I just want to try and, I can't say how much I just want to score in the games and win the games.
Ian Wright goal 101, not far away.
Well, it's the long ball from Seaman, and it's gone all the way through for Wright. And the outcome was inevitable. Direct and deadly from Arsenal. Long free kick from Adams. Reeves is a defender. Wright wriggling and shooting. Oh, it's turned in right on the line by Smith. Alan Smith's hold-up play, good again. Dixon. Campbell now. That looked like handball, but the goal is given. Good jump by Barton. Jones. With chances here for Wimbledon. They've got one back, and it's Vinnie Jones who claims it.
One win was to lead to another.
Here's Peacock. Furlong. Wise is there. First blood to Chelsea. Right. Now Smith. Still being played in front of the Chelsea defenders. Now Winterburn's round the back. Smith going in. Very well kept out by Karin. On from Bold. Karin punches. Right! The equaliser hammered into the roof of the net by Ian Wright. It's a real scramble, and the goal for Campbell. The corner pays dividends again for Arsenal. George Graham's men get their noses in front at last. Winterburn. Nicely done, past Newton. 3-1. Well, he's absolutely unerring in front of goal.
And another win.
Rennie had time to make up for his own mistake, but then he was caught by Schwartz. And Wright! Ian Wright has a new club record. He scores for his 10th appearance in a row. A proud moment. Presley. Oh, he's got that totally wrong. And Wright has been gifted another one. Dublin. Bowles got to it. Now, did Nigel Winterburn jump into Dion Dublin? Then he did. And Arsenal have conceded a penalty. It's going to be Roy Wegerle. This for 2-1, there it is.
But there was only 1 point earned at Goodison Park.
Now Stewart. He's passed fast. Graham Stewart going on for Everton. Oh, and he was caught outside the area. Teed up for Burrows, but not very well. Unsworth! Well, Everton needing perhaps a lucky break as they look for their first win of the season. Certainly have one here. Throw from McGoldrick. Here's Schwartz, setting himself for the shot. Oh, and it's swerved past Southall. 1-1.
The early jitters in the Premiership settled. Danish side Brøndby were the second-round opponents in the Cup Winners' Cup. IF Brøndby, John Jensen's old club, are a short way outside of Copenhagen, a city of fond memories in European competition. The public training session this time in the cold Danish wind, but the foreign trip follows a pattern. Visit the ground the night before a game and then a private training session in the morning. No prying eyes and no press. This is where tactics are finalised, where the game is won time and time again. Nothing is left to chance. In European competition, you have to do your homework more than ever.
I've only been over once, but my scouts have been over 3 times. Stuart's been over as well. We run the rule over the opposition collectively as a team and individually. So we have a good profile in each player, how the system of play is, and then we've spoken to John, and John actually tells us that they really secretly fancy their chances against us.
Brøndby were beaten on a bitter, cold evening. The Danes may well have been confident. The Gunners and their travelling fans were not scared of spoiling the home team's fun. And there were no prizes for guessing who opened the scoring.
Nicely played by Wright. Parlour taking it on the burst. Brøndby having to chase back. Still Parlour. He's kept it in. Wright! A goal for Arsenal in the 17th minute. Smith! He's cashed in here on defensive confusion, and Arsenal are 2 in front. Oh, it's a goal. Strudal. Brøndby trying to get back into business here. Well, a good night's work here for Arsenal. They've won the first leg by 2 goals to 1.
We're going to have to beat us 2-0, and I can't see that personally, and not the way our defenders are going to be playing, and the way I know that we can create chances against their back 4.
It was to be a close one, though.
Well, Brøndby have got a big task here. But, oh, they've helped themselves with a terrific start. A goal from Hansen. Dixon on the chase. The corner has been given. Well, it's a big night for John Jensen. Adams in there. And the referee's given a penalty. Well, Kim Vilport leading the Bromby protestations. It's Ian Wright on his return to the side. And that will make Arsenal feel a lot better. Right. That's an interesting touch. On for Smith. Quick throw from Parler. Wright got his head to it. This is in. Selly! Splendid start to the second half for Arsenal. Fast off the mark as Bromby were in the first half. And Arsenal still cannot see this second round, second leg through in the tournament where they are the defending champions through with any degree of relaxation. They've given away a free kick. And a goal! A second for Bromby here from Egan. The crowd wanting the final whistle to come. The most slender of advantages for Arsenal. Hansen, ball diving in, is that a penalty? Not given, and they're furious on the Bromby bench. Well, we've got a situation here that if this had been a penalty and Bromby would have scored from it, Arsenal would have been out on the away goals rule.
Arsenal through to the quarter-finals of the Cup Winners' Cup. They could now relax from European competition until March. Back to the domestic cups now, and a third-round encounter with the Ensley League side Oldham Athletic at Boundary Park. The Latics stood firm at home. Ray Parler denied by Gerrard's save, and so to Highbury for a third-round replay.
It's a really hung-up corner by McGoldrick. And it's squeezed in by Dickoff. The first goal of the tie. Winterburn. Dickoff miskicked, but he didn't the second time. A second for Paul Dickoff. And damage done here that might be too severe for Oldham to be able to repair. Sheridan gets it up to Watson. Back come Arsenal. McGoldrick. Morrow. Oh, memories of Wembley for Steve Morrow, who scores against Sheffield Wednesday again. Good progress from Campbell. Useful cross. It drops for Ian Wright, and the aim is true once more.
Two cup competitions and two quarter-finals. Not bad for November. Sheffield Wednesday had also visited Highbury earlier in the month. The victory against them in the Coca-Cola Cup came after a goalless draw in the Premiership. The 1 point enough to put the Gunners into 10th place. But there were to be no points at the Dell.
Still 0-0. Kenner. Oh, Magilton is free, he's in the clear and he scored! It's Jim Magilton's first goal in Southampton's colours. Here's Lowe. Oldham came across, well stopped by Seaman, deflected in, off Linnigan. Right away. Jimmy Willis trying to catch him. Well, he's hauled him down. It's got to be a penalty. One-one. The right run goes on. 12 matches now. Oh, Arsenal have neglected Nicky Moen here, and David Lowe scored. Leicester back in front.
There was one player notable by his absence. The press were full of rumours.
Today, Paul Merson has been discharged as a resident of the addiction clinic where he spent the past 6 weeks. Over that period, the FA has received regular reports on the progress of his treatment. A notable feature of those reports has been confirmation that drug abuse in Paul's case has been a minimal problem. According to medical specialists, he's been suffering over several years from...
You know, every morning I have to get up in the morning and I have to write out my name, the date and the month, and I have to put I will not have a bet, an alcoholic drink or use mood-altering chemicals today. And that's how I start my day off when I wake up in the morning now. And I have to say that aloud. So, you know, I didn't do that 3 months ago, you know, and things like that, little things like that have changed. You know, that's what I've got to do now. I have to go to meetings and, you know, it is a new Paul Merson.
Paul Merson's rehabilitation was a public affair, played out in the tabloids. It would be some time before he would be back in the first team.
When I come to 35, I haven't got football anymore. You know, and it's not worth me being, you know, drunk and everything. You know, I'm going to go nowhere. So really, it was for me to get on the rails again. And now, if I stay better, the football will follow.
The next opponents in the Premiership were champions Manchester United. The honours were shared at Highbury in a real hard-fought ding-dong battle that saw Mark Hughes sent off, Dave Seaman injured and Ian Wright denied. Nottingham Forest next in this Premiership run.
Runs through ball. It didn't go through in the end. Collymore tried to turn. Gemmell takes it on and is brought down here by Vince Bartram. It's a penalty to Nottingham Forest. It's Stuart Pearce. 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Here's Dixon for Davis. Fowler's cross. It's a corner. Keown got back. Martin Keown, at long last, his first goal for Arsenal Football Club. Roy. It broke for him behind the Arsenal midfielder who were trying to catch up. Roy lets fly. Roy scores. Forest back in front here. Dixon. Arsenal needing a positive approach here. Dixon trying to supply it. Useful cross. Campbell. Davis. They're level again. Campbell, unchallenged. Ian Brightwell backed off him and left him. And Campbell responds with a pass here that has Dixon marauding down the right. And Alan Smith scoring in the centre. Great goal for Arsenal. Headed on by Quinn. It's Arsenal days a distant memory now. Nice touch by Smith. Campbell. Schwartz, who'd been involved at the outset, carries on to score splendidly. Well, it was just knocked away in the nick of time by Keown from Uwe Rosler. City's corner. Finally finding some impetus to their play. Arsenal have been on top for long spells. Rosler. This is Simpson! Well, the signs were there and Simpson's put City back in it. Winterburn in a real tangle with Noel Whelan. And a bit of hesitation, and Masinga is there first, and Leeds United have taken the lead. They've stolen it here through the South African Phil Masinga. Dean, happy to get it forward. Masinga happy to chase. Bold backs off. Still Masinga. Or still Masinga. That's an amazing goal. A fair amount of fortune for Leeds United, but Phil Masinga's got his second. Now Keown. Well, it ran in behind speed. Dixon's cross. That's Lenigan! Came in powerfully beyond the far post. White. And Brian Dean, that should wrap it up for Leeds United. 3-1 they lead.
The disappointing league run continued. Arsenal hadn't won at home since October in the Premiership. Aston Villa would not leave Highbury empty-handed. No score, a point apiece. Winning away, though, was not a problem.
In from Schwarz again. Right, oh! Well, that was splendid, even by his standards. A venomous volley. Walk over-elaborating. He was caught by Jensen. Knocked off by Wright. Here's Campbell. Oh, deflected. 2-0.
One run of bad luck did end. John Jensen's.
It really is extraordinary how Arsenal have lost the winning touch in recent weeks here at Highbury, where there's been so much success under George Graham. Cross by Ferdinand, very neatly taken goal by Kevin Gallen at the near post for Queen's Park Rangers. Here's Winterburn. Arsenal striving hard for an equaliser. Jensen. Oh, that's what they've been waiting for. And that's what he's been waiting for. At long last, a goal in Arsenal's colours for the Dane, John Jensen. It's been a good response from Queen's Park Rangers to losing their lead, and they might be back in front here. They are, through Bradley Allen. Well, the joy of seeing Jensen score is evaporating fast here, as Arsenal are on the back foot once more, and it's 3-1. Andy Impey.
It was great, I must say that. I've been waiting for 2.5 years now, waiting to that goal to come, and I will give it to the fans. They've been absolutely fantastic to me. So that goal, I will give it to all the fans.
Jensen would have swapped his goal, he said, for a win at White Hart Lane. It wasn't to be. Popescu put paid to thoughts of an Arsenal victory. Things were no better in the cup competitions in the new year. First, a departure from the last 8 of the Coca-Cola Cup against Liverpool up at Anfield.
A touch from Barnes, then from Ruddock, and in rush. Oh, brilliant set piece has unlocked Arsenal here, and Liverpool have the lead.
Then, after a no-score draw against Millwall in the 3rd round of the FA Cup at the New Den, a bad night at Highbury in the replay.
Van Blerk. Breaks for Van Blerk again, the Australian. And that's Mark Beard, and Millwall have got the first goal of the tie here. Mick McCarthy trying to control the emotion of his team, but he'll be happy as Kennedy takes it up here. Still Kennedy. Well, that is that.
Arsenal have made an offer and we've accepted. So
Before the season had started, George Graham had admitted he'd not bought all of the players he'd wanted to. It was now time for some new blood. John Hartson joined from Luton and Chris Kiwomya from Ipswich. They both made their debuts against Everton. Hartson up front in the starting lineup.
Hartson going in there, anxious to make an early impression here with his new club. And Wright and Arsenal have taken the lead. And Hartson goes across to join in the jubilation for Ian Wright. Here's Watson swinging the left foot. Oh, with spectacular results. That's something of a collector's item on Dave Watson's left foot from that range.
The home win still eluding the Gunners. Away form still much the superior. And John Hartson didn't take long to earn his stripes, helping Arsenal to a double over Coventry.
Bold rather launches that. He's given a problem to Benali. It's a chance for Hartson, he's got another one. Well, his first this time at Highbury to follow up the cracker that got the points at Coventry. Widdrington. You can sense the anxiety from the home supporters who've seen so many disappointments at home this season, particularly since October, when the last three-point haul in the Premiership was gained. Letitia, Magilton has more problems. Southampton have stolen a goal and it's 1-1.
But a goal by Linnigan not good enough against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. Arsenal went 3-1 down, but stayed 11th in the league. As holders of the Cup Winners' Cup, Arsenal met AC Milan, the winners of the Champions League, in the European Super Cup. The first leg at Highbury saw a familiar face on the substitutes bench. Paul Merson, leaner and fitter. It was to prove a goalless affair, but nonetheless an entertaining one.
Albertini. Pressed by Jensen, dispossessed by Jensen. That's just lifted the mood in the crowd, and so too is Ian Wright. Hartson trying to keep pace with him through the middle. Campbell on the scene as well, but Wright has his own ideas, and Rossi provides a barrier there to keep it at 0-0. Winterberg. Dixon. He's gone a long time without a goal, but a certain grimace of satisfaction there. Massaro. Savicevic, too strong for Jensen that time. Massaro, Arsenal appeal for offside, it's not given. And this is Simone, and there's a bit of a let-off there for George Graham's man.
And then the substitution the crowd had waited for.
When I come back, it will be a bit of a buzz around, you know, the players as well. But I just think it's just a turn of luck sort of thing, you know. I think one year we went through and we weren't playing too well, and then all of a sudden we smashed Sheffield 7 and we've beaten someone else 6. And I really honestly believe that will happen again with someone. You know, an early goal and then another goal, and everybody's, you know, it calms everybody down. I've played in teams where if you're not, you know, if you're not winning, you get very nervous, and I'm prime example for that. If it's not going very well before all this happened, you know, I'd lose my confidence, and I play on confidence, and I can understand it happens with all the best teams, and it's just happening. I just need to turn the corner now, and hopefully I can help that.
The San Siro, the home of Italian football, would be the venue for Paul Merson's first full game in the second leg of the Super Cup. It wasn't to be Arsenal's night.
Massaro, Boban, Schwarz tugging at him, still Boban. The first goal for AC Milan. It comes from Boban. and Massaro will take a lot of credit for the pass. Nothing that Schwartz or Seaman could do. Everyone claiming. Arsenal's corner. Oh, it must be right, but the whistle, I think, had gone. Presumably for a foul on the original challenge from the corner by Hartson. Was that a push? Well, it was in the mind of the referee, but it looked very harsh indeed. Adams, now that bounced up awkwardly from Boban's cross. Massaro, 2-0.
The Premiership now way past the halfway stage and the Gunners seemingly stuck mid-table. Leicester City's visit to Highbury was eventful in many ways.
McGoldrick. Got it back from Kiwomya. McGoldrick. Merson coming in. Oh, it's a marvellous goal! Which means so much to the scorer. And those who have appreciated what he's been through in recent times. This is Draper. Suddenly there's a chance here for Leicester. And have Arsenal let it slip at home again?
The signing of Glenn Helder from Dutch side Vitesse Arnhem was somewhat eclipsed by the sudden departure of manager George Graham. George Graham was one of the most successful managers in Arsenal's history, winning 6 major trophies in 8 years. Team coach Stuart Houston took temporary charge, his first task a home win against Nottingham Forest.
Well, I must say it's a strange atmosphere at Highbury here tonight. There's a lot of goodwill you feel around for George Graham. But Stuart Houston has responsibility for this Arsenal performance. Jensen, and the players certainly looking up for it. This is Merson. And Crossley angry with a lack of cover in front of him. Merson. Back for Kiwomya. Chance for Arsenal. Goal for Kiwomya. Is the home victory going to arrive at long last since those autumnal days in October?
Well, I've had a very low and a fairly high day today. It was very low at lunchtime, obviously, with the news of George. But delighted, obviously, from the performance of the players tonight and the attitude, the commitment they gave tonight. I thought they battled really, really hard. And I thought they got their just reward at the end with a lovely goal from Chris Kiwomya.
What is it that you say to players before a match like tonight?
Well, I think it was an unusual circumstance tonight, and things had to be obviously said regarding, you know, what I knew about the manager's situation, and that was that we just had to get on with trying to get 3 points tonight. That was the most important thing from the players' point of view. To show that with 10 players there on the field which started tonight, all bought by George Graham, plus obviously Paul Merson, who was here when he first came. All these players tonight, you know, have been the manager's buys, and I felt tonight that they should go out themselves and show them why he bought them. And I think tonight you saw that. You saw that entirely.
Stuart Houston as caretaker manager then followed up with another win. The Gunners were up to 8th in the league.
Southgate setting the wall in conjunction with Martin. Roll forward by Jensen. Good movement by Merson. Very well worked by Arsenal. It certainly caught Palace out. So Arsenal have a throw. Winterburn. Touch on by Merson. It's a good touch. Kiwomya. 2-0. Jensen defending in front of the back four and getting it wide to Merson. Certainly not an easy pitch on which to dribble the ball, but Merson's doing it very well here. Kiwomya has got another one.
But then a disappointing 1-0 loss at home to West Ham, a match played between the two legs of the European competition. French side Auxerre in the quarter-final first leg were a gritty side, renowned for playing an old-fashioned style of football, who marked their opposition to a man.
We've now reached this last 8 in the competition, and my main objective obviously is to go forward and hopefully proceed into the semi-finals. Over the last couple of year or so, we've tended to be drawn away, and I think most sides would prefer to be drawn away in the first leg. So we've got to be very positive tonight, but patient.
Vahirua. Oh, they've stopped! That's Lalonde! And Arsenal could so easily have allowed Auxerre an away goal here. It was a very good opportunity, but they've wasted it. Schwartz. Well, you can't complain about the positioning of the referee. Free kick, going Arsenal's way, taken by Merson. Oh, it's a trip there. There was. It's a penalty. That was the incident. And a great chance for Arsenal. Ian Wright scores to extend his own personal run in Europe. And against tough French opposition here, that could be a priceless penalty. Well, Arsenal have had to work very hard to get their noses in front. A bit unlucky there with the ball bouncing back into play off the corner flag, and I think Dixon's been penalised for rather lunging in. Well, if you can lip read, he's saying, I got the ball. But it is a free kick. Oh, it's an equaliser! And it's Frank Verlat. And the cheers have suddenly stopped because Auxerre have hit back quickly. And it was Verlat who just glanced it in at the near post. The holders of the Cup Winners' Cup are in some trouble, but Ian Wright, well, he got in front of the defender, was just leaning back as he struck it, and it hit the bar and kept on going. Final whistle, 1-1 here, all to do in Auxerre for Arsenal in 2 weeks' time.
From the near blizzard conditions of North London to the Chablis country of France and the fortress town of Auxerre. Stuart Houston's main concern, the fitness of keeper David Seaman.
I'll try and train tonight, see what it's like, and then for whatever pain's there, I'll just have injections, and you know, if tonight goes all right, then I'll play. But obviously they're going to come at us. It suits us because we've been better away this season, you know. So it's going to be difficult, you know, because it was difficult at Highbury because they were a lot better than what we'd seen.
They're just coming down a typical kind of foreign job on us at home, but we're ready for them this time, and I think the way we play, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to show that.
David Seaman there at the final briefing, conceding a goal tonight, unthinkable.
We know what we've got to do tonight. I mean, I know it's always a game of chess sometimes, but you know, we know we have to score a goal, and obviously we've got to win by a goal. You know, whether it's 1-0 or a 2-1. You know, we know we have to score a goal. If they get a 0-0, you know, that suits them. So, you know, they're not they're not desperate to over-attack.
It was Arsenal's turn to be underdogs. Written off in many quarters, there's something about the away leg that lifts the Gunners' game. That night in Auxerre, they would fight as if their very lives depended on it.
Well, the bottom line here in Auxerre is that Arsenal have to score. A 0-0, and they would be out. But the French side testing out Arsenal straight away. It was a terrific strike from long range. And it beat Seaman. And the follow-up header from Lalonde was more comfortable for the goalkeeper. Adams. Oh, two defenders go for the ball and they've left it for Wright. Oh, it's a great try! And a goal for Arsenal. And Ian Wright has come up trumps in Europe yet again. And it was the surprising power in the shot that deceived Cool. You thought initially the goalkeeper was going to get there, but it brushed past his fingertips and bowls the net. Well, should Auxerre score, let me remind you, that would completely level it and would take us to extra time. That's Valat who did score at Highbury, but not here. David Seaman, despite those damaged ribs, getting across to keep it out. He really has looked in masterful form. Steve Bowl waves everyone up. This really has been a gritty Arsenal performance, and it's a winning performance. They knew what they had to do to come here. Seaman was splendid. Wright scored spectacularly, and Arsenal are in the semi-finals of the Cup Winners' Cup.
I just said after the game to the lads, I was very proud of every one of them out there tonight. They stood up and be counted, and they showed the true Arsenal resilience and grit and everything that goes about it. We had to dig in tonight. It was you know, we had our backs to the wall at times, but in saying that, we got a great goal from Ian Wright, which gave us all a lift. And I said to the players at half-time, you know, we've just got to sort of keep our shape, concentrate what we're doing, and, you know, dig deep. They pushed us back a lot tonight. David Seaman, I thought, was absolutely outstanding at the back four. You know, everybody tonight, you know, from the front to the back, you know, really worked really hard tonight and thoroughly deserved, you know, to go into the semi-finals. And you know, what can I say? I'm really proud of them all.
This is the kind of game where, you know, the way our season's been going, and in fact the way football has been going recently, you know, every opportunity we get, English teams, the clubs, the players, we've got to show, you know, that you've got to show your character through adversity, and I think we showed that today.
You know, I think it's a very important goal for us, and that's what Ian Wright's all about. He can have one chance tonight, probably that was his only chance tonight, and bang, it's 1-0, and we're in the semi-final.
Another record for Ian Wright, the most goals scored by an Arsenal player in Europe, and he's still on target for scoring in every game of the competition. Back in the Premiership, the toughest of schedules, starting without Seaman with Blackburn away.
Sutton coming to receive the ball and do well, in fact, to hold off Adams. He's got it through to Shearer, and Blackburn have scored. Alan Shearer again. Lasso linking up with Warhurst. Shearer says good play from Blackburn Rovers. Sutton's cross. It's still Lasso. A superb goal for Graham Lasso. Atkins. Mark Atkins moves on and is brought down by Andy Linnigan. Alan Shearer is the Blackburn penalty taker, of course. Well, this for 3-0. There it is, and Shearer gets his second of the evening. Arsenal really have played a full part in this game. The scoreline somewhat flattering the home side. Dixon. This is Parlour. Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it! Steve Morrow. Whether the European exertions will start to tell on Arsenal as the game wears on. No sign of fatigue as yet. Right. Oh, well, the dip on that. Very nearly deceived Cernicek. Peacock wants it back, gets it back from Fox. Venison. Newcastle pressure here. Beardsley, oh, he's done it! And won it! Oh, Manchester United pressing on again. Giggs with a cross. Bartram partially. Sharp is in. Hughes is in! There's the breakthrough. Well, that was Giggs' challenge on right. It was a successful one. And Cole going on. Hughes is with him. Kanchelskis with an unusually clumsy first touch. Hughes. Sharp! Found the angle perfectly with his weaker foot. Winterburn already backing off, worried about Kanchelskis getting up ahead of steam, but they forced him infield. The pass across to Giggs. Still Giggs. In goes Kanchelskis! And makes light of an awkward angle there. That's Adams. Well, Arsenal, after 4 consecutive league defeats, whether Europe's been a distraction, but they really have to put a performance together today. And here's Helder setting the right note. John Hartson. Dixon. Well, it's gone all the way in. I don't know whether Hartson got a touch, but they've gone to Lee Dixon. Norwich City with just 1 league win this year. They're in trouble again. It's Hartson. It's in. It's 3 now. Ward. Arsenal want offside. It's not given. And here's Cureton. Well, that's 1 back from Jamie Cureton. Well, Norwich have left Martin Keown all on his own here. Merson! There's another one. Well, on a day when victory was imperative, the goals are a bonus. It's Helder again. Oh! It's an own goal! Rob Newman, what was he thinking of?
The Norwich win helped settle the Premiership nerves. A short trip across London did little to steady them.
Hartson. But here is Andrew Impey. Arsenal would love to have switched this fixture if they could to a later date. Oh, they've lost Ferdinand. Have they lost an opening goal? Here they have, and it's Andrew Impey beyond the far post. Impey. Good challenge by Adams, but he's held off well by Gallen. Sinclair. Slipping Schwarz. Gallen. That's 2. In from Brevitt. High one. Arsenal still press back. Carl Redding. That's Penrice. And Redding! It's his goal. Dixon jogs away, Merson takes, and that's Tony Adams! 3-1 now.
And then on a Wednesday night at Highbury, a goal in the dying seconds against Liverpool, relegation became a possibility.
I think from everybody's point of view, it was we just couldn't quite believe what happened to us at the end, you know. And you know, we had there were problems at Newcastle a few weeks back, and obviously, you know, we hadn't learned from it because, you know, the clock said 0. The game was more or less, you know, tied up, but delighted with the point. But you know, they broke from us in the last minute of the game, and you know, very disappointed at the end. There was really no comeback from that. We can only do what we've got to do, and I've asked the players to be, you know, really focused today on to get the 3 points against Ipswich Town. That's all we can do at the moment in time.
Marshall making a nuisance of himself. Bold is there. Knocked away by Dixon. Merson able to pick it up in midfield. Hartson goes to the left. Right. Back heeling for Merson, who's onside, and he buries the opportunity. Well, that will ricochet to suit the Dutchman Helder. A clipped cross. In right. Goal! It's another one for Wright. 3-0 to Arsenal here. And Ipswich really coming a very poor second in this game. But here's Marshall. Mathy waiting for support, and oh, he's presented it to Wright, who's on a hat-trick. And he's going to get a hat-trick in the end. Dixon. Arsenal not satisfied yet. Dixon again. That's Klaus Thompson getting a foot in, and Marshall. Still Marshall. Ian Marshall, for sheer persistence, gets a pat on the back. He scored for Ipswich and the fans can't believe it.
But one win wasn't enough. Once more, the Arsenal dug deep.
Villa will make it as hard as they can for us, just like we're going to make it hard for them. And, you know, we went there last season and, you know, it was a good game and we beat them 2-1. Hopefully we can get that same result. The main thing is to win.
Staunton. The Villa really haven't got going, and it's to Arsenal's credit that that has happened so far. Merson. He's got in behind them again. Hartson! Splendidly taken by the Welshman. The familiar 1-0 to the Arsenal cry, but Wright maybe will get them to change it. It's 2-0 to the Arsenal. Here's Johnson. Oh, there's a tuck there by Bold on Ian Taylor. It's a penalty. And a booking for Bold. The responsibility is with Dean Saunders. And Seaman saved it. Superbly low to his left. Dixon, on from Schwartz. Well, Wright got past one tame tackle and a second. McGrath had to come across, brings him down. Penalty to Arsenal this time. Well, can Bosnich match Seaman? He can't. Ian Wright sent him the wrong way. Schwartz. Merson. There's a great opportunity here, and Hartson has taken it. 4-0.
What was all the worrying for? They just took one thing at a time. A real purple patch in the Premiership set up the Gunners for the semi-final of the Cup Winners' Cup. The draw pulled out the strongest opponents, Sampdoria.
Well, I've watched them on the video over the last few days, especially again when they played Porto, home and away. We've had people sent out to see them, and we've had a report on them, and I'm going out on Sunday to watch them in Naples. So I'll have a good idea by Monday exactly what kind of formation I'll have. Obviously they've got suspensions to Platt and Hulett, who's ineligible to play. So I'll have a fair idea how they'll approach the game.
I think they've got a quality side. I don't think they're going to really change the way they play to suit us. I think they're going to be a bit defensive maybe when they come to Highbury, and it's up to us to break them down. Hopefully with the crowd behind us it will give us the spur to go on and get a goal or two.
Both legs against Sampdoria were heart-stopping. Victory in the home leg was by no means a foregone conclusion. Arsenal, it seemed, had to score even to start level.
In from Merson. Adams! No. Well, the referee must have seen some pushing there. Zenga has got the decision, but there will be plenty who would disagree with the referee. Steve Bold, just according to the script, helps it on. Maybe a little too high to be absolutely perfect. Was it Wright who was pushing or Adams? Maybe neither, but the referee said foul. Right. There's a real zip about Arsenal. Dixon, great try, and Zenga, the showman, shows what he's made of. Well, it's a throw. Mancini did block it fairly. Parla. Oh, it's a mistake by Ivani. Hillier! Bold goal! Steve Bold! First goal of the season. Great time to get it. Ivani only hooked it into Hillier's stride. Beaten out by Zenga, and Bold finished like a craftsman. Well, they're not thinking about the disallowed goal now. They're thinking about the one that has counted for Steve Bold. Parla. Dixon. And Merson forces another corner. That's Bold. And it's gone in! Straight from Steve Bold's head, I think. He takes the salutes. 2 for Arsenal, and would you believe it, 2 for Steve Bold. Maybe in his mind just to help it on for others. But in the end, he helped it on into the net. Mancini, Lombardo, Mancini, oh, Adams has touched it away from the goalkeeper. It's a gift for Jugovic. It was going swimmingly for Arsenal, but now a change in emphasis here, 2-1. And you just see Tony Adams stick out a foot, and wrong foot David Seaman, and Jugovic got his reward for keeping on running. It's a great tackle of real authority by Adams. Merson. Right. A wonderful goal for Arsenal. They've stuck a dagger into the Sampdoria hearts here with the perfection of the pass from Merson in total harmony with the run of Wright, and yet another European night and a European goal for Ian Wright. Svennis Eriksson, Sampdoria's Swedish coach, urging his team to commit more to attack. Oh, the back heel from Mancini and Jugovic. 3-2. A second for Jugovic. It's an amazing first leg to this Cup Winners' Cup semi-final. How about that from Mancini? And Jugovic tucked it away. A night of contrasting emotions here. Steve Bold with 2 goals, another from Ian Wright, a brilliant goal it was too, but 2 for Jugovic, and it's very finely balanced as we head for Genoa in the second leg.
It's a nice change, isn't it? 2 in a game, normally get 2 a year if I'm lucky. It's nice, it'd been nice to have the 2-goal lead, but we wouldn't be arsed if we didn't make it difficult for ourselves, would it?
Genoa bound, the Arsenal were particularly focused. This time, no public training session, just a glance at the pitch at the Luigi Ferrara Stadium. But still a chance to score some points. It's difficult not to sound cliched about the team's attitude, backs against the wall, etc. But Arsenal retired to Fortress Santa Margherita along the Genoa coast, where they would lay their plans on how to break out of Italy victorious. Back in Genoa, it took a police escort just to get the fans to the stadium. For junior gunner Jamie Feldman, though, an extra special transit. He would lead the team out as club mascot. His brother had done the same job some years earlier. That game, too, was a semi-final, a victorious one against Tottenham. Half an hour before the kickoff and the dressing room remarkably relaxed. Just time for a few good luck messages.
So boys, smash up for the day. Right. What are you doing? Right. Which way do you want to go round? Okay. Who's your favourite player? Jimmy. Who's your favourite player? Magic player. Lombardo. Mancini.
Right, Jamie, how you doing? I've got a battery, boy.
Basketball.
I've got a battery, boy. We're going to win.
Yeah?
Who else you got to win?
You're going to go out and
right in the middle, Stuart. That's it.
The game surpassed all expectations, the whole range of emotions, hope, despair, and finally elation. Mancini did give the pennant back.
Of all the major Italian stadiums, this is perhaps the most intimate. Steep-sided ground, great atmosphere, and a semi-final here in the Cup Winners' Cup. Stunningly poised, really, after the way the first leg went. And Sampdoria with Mancini have levelled it on aggregate. The flag stayed down, and they got the right man through, really. Roberto Mancini. Lombardo was coming back and not regarded as an active player. Mancini strode on and looped it over Seaman. Merson's corner. It's in! And guess who's got it? Ian Wright. Arsenal in this time of desperate need to score, and Wright did not fail them. It's certainly not been a vintage season for Sampdoria in Serie A. They're really pinning all their hopes for success on this competition. Well, that's given us handball, I think, by Adams. Maybe he feels he was actually forced onto the ball by Lombardo, but it is a free kick. The wall stands firm. Oh, it's a goal! And it's Bellucci making it 2-1 here, 4-all on aggregate. And Bellucci penalised with a yellow card for excessive celebrations, but for a young player, this is a great moment. An instinctive header. Winterburn. Arsenal committed to attack. Hartson. And maybe over-committed to attack. This is Lombardo at the gallop. He's put Bellucci through! And Sampdoria believe they're in the final now. Linesman got it absolutely right. There was no offside. Well, in this semi-final of so many twists and turns, Arsenal have to throw everything into it now to try and get a goal and force extra time, and now Bold is in trouble. That's big trouble. It's a booking, and, well, should Arsenal get through, he would miss the final. Schwarz. It's in! Quite amazing. Well, we were writing Arsenal's obituaries here. But this goal by Stefan Schwarz makes it 5-all on aggregate. It's been a truly amazing semi-final, and it's to be decided on penalties. Lee Dixon first to go for Arsenal, and he scores. First to go for Sampdoria is Mihailovic. Really strong left-footed shot, but Seaman saved it! Eddie McGoldrick. Oh, he's missed it! So both sides have one failure apiece, but Arsenal have one goal. And Seaman's done it again from Jugovic. John Hartson. What a season it's been for him. And it's a superb penalty in the circumstances. And that's tucked away. Tony Adams. Head down. And drives it in. Arsenal are getting closer. Manini. So Seaman beaten. Paul Merson steps up. Oh, and he saved it! Has the chance gone? But Lombardo has to score to keep Sampdoria in it. David Seaman with 2 saves in this shootout already. Attilio Lombardo. And it's out! Seaman's kept it out! And the Arsenal celebrations can begin. They were nearly counted out here tonight until Stefan Schwarz took us to extra time, and then the penalty shootout, which has belonged totally to David Seaman.
It was a great match, you know, it was great entertainment, and then goes to penalties and wonder what happens. So I've got a routine, and I've always done it all the way through my career, and it's always worked. They've got to pick their side and put it in there. You know, so I stand up as long as I can, then I just get, you know, half guess and throw myself along there.
stuff great matches are made of, all set for a final against Spanish side Real Zaragoza. The Arsenal ladies had totally dominated the women's game. Marianne Spacey scoring the winner against Liverpool in the WFA Cup final. Who would have predicted a 3-2 scoreline? 3 days later, their triumph was to be doubled, beating Southampton to take the league with 2 games in hand. It wasn't to be the youth team's year. Pat Rice is realistic about their purpose.
They've done magnificent because I keep changing the team around every week to give the boys games, and you know, that is what it's all about, really. Because who remembers who won the South East Counties League last year? Or really, who cares? Obviously, every game we go out to actually win it, but it's not the most important thing in the world. The most important thing in the world is to hopefully get a player through.
And very much the same philosophy applies to the reserves. Adrian Clark, the scorer here, against Bristol Rovers.
You know, the reserves is about making mistakes, and you know, there's only one team important at the end of the day, is the first team, and if we can get some of the reserves to go in the first team, consequently we lose, and that's to the club's betterment.
The first team had just 3 games left to play in the Premiership. Thoughts on the final in Paris, but enough room still for a Tottenham derby.
Adams coming forward to just cajole a bit more life perhaps into Arsenal. Helder. Right. Still right. Oh, he's being tugged back there by Edinburgh. And it's a penalty at Highbury, and it goes to Arsenal. Well, Liam Walker's done well against Wright in this game. Oh, and he went the right way too, but the penalty powered past him, and Arsenal have taken the lead here, to the satisfaction of Stuart Houston. Anderton gets it wide to Rosenthal. Klinsmann coming short. Edinburgh goes down the outside and gets past Dixon. Klinsmann! That's a great equaliser.
Wimbledon brought forward their Highbury date to allow the Gunners time for the final. The honours shared at Arsenal's last home game of the season. Last Premiership game, an alternative to the final against losing semi-finalists Chelsea.
Steen. Hoddle. Oh, and he's found Furlong in the clear, and Glenn Hoddle has made a goal for Furlong in his final game. Right. Hartson gets there before Merson, and John Hartson tucks it away with real aplomb for Arsenal. Missed by Dixon. That's very well taken on the run by Peacock. Oh, Steen must score, does score. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 1.
The Premiership title decided on the final day. It had been a difficult year in the league, a mid-table finish, a fair reflection on the season. To Paris in the spring, and Arsenal had a fight on their hands. Away from the media circus, at the team's hotel in Versailles, comes time for reflection on what had been and what might be.
When I came into the situation in February, the league position was still not good enough. We were still needing points. And the main priority, I've always maintained, the main priority for me and the players, obviously, was to remain in the Premier League. And, you know, we won a few games and we lost a few games, and we were up and down. But we showed a lot of character over the Easter period, I thought. We played at home to Ipswich, and then we went to Villa Park and had a very good win, 4-0. And that was only 3 days, actually, before we played Sampdoria. So, I mean, that was a tremendous sort of 5 or 6 days for the club there. We just seemed to turn the whole season round, and you know, now we've got the big bonus, you know, here in Paris to go on and finish really on a high, which would be a tremendous achievement for everybody at the club.
The Arsenal faithful flocked to the final, 15,000 of them. A special Eurostar train through the Channel Tunnel laid on to help with the demand, and still they came to the Parc des Princes by plane, train and automobile to see the famous red and whites. If the semi-final had stopped your heart, the final would break it.
Hartson. Well, he's made his own luck here. Hartson. Goalkeeper's missed it. On from Merson. It's blocked on the line by Belsoué. The holders feeling that they were going to go in front here, but Belsoué lucky. That was the only place really he could have stopped it. It's Sneijder. Oh, it's an amazing goal! It's Sneijder who broke Chelsea's hearts in the first leg of the semi-final. Scores here. Well, Arsenal rarely lack courage and character. They've got to call on all those qualities now. Dixon. This is Parler. Now Merson. And it's in for the equaliser. And it's John Hartson, I think, who's got it. Characteristically, Arsenal have bounced back. The drive of Parler. Merson just rolled it to his left. And it was Hartson who beat right to it. Short corner work to Pardesa. In from Naeem. Oh, and Seaman's there again. That's a nice touch from Sneijder to add his congratulations. Of course the post helped here for David Seaman, but it was a superb save. Once of Spurs has taken the Cup Winners' Cup surely from Arsenal for Zaragoza. Seaman went back and back, but it's in, and Arsenal are beaten.
But, dignified in defeat, Tony Adams said this would make us stronger. Not surprisingly, Ian Wright leads the goal-scoring tally for the Gunners. What we want to know is, how many goals in total had Ian Wright scored for Arsenal by season's end? Send your answers to the usual address by the end of August, and you could have 2 VIP tickets to the opening fixture at Highbury next season. 1995 to 1996 awaits. Join us there.